tap water to about 3 inches from the top
So you put your grape concentrate
into
in.
the carboy. That's
You
correct.
can buy the concentrate. You don't have to go picking the grapes yourself.
That's right.
You can
That's-
actually buy the concentrates nowadays.
That's what makes the beauty of it, because had we had to go and squash the grapes, there would be a lot of work. But since you can buy the concentrate now, it makes it a lot easier.
So one of the early decisions, I guess, one of the first decisions is what type of grape, what type of concentrate you want to put in.
That's correct. There is a great deal. There's a lot of different grapes on the market, concentrates on the market. We prefer the French white and red wines, and they're fairly simple to make, and they're very enjoyable to drink.
So obviously the type of concentrate will determine whether you have white wine or red wine, obviously. What else will it determine?
That's about it, I guess.
The
Just if it's going to be red or white. You can buy a sparkling wine. I haven't tried that yet. So there are different variations, but we've basically been just staying to the concentrates, red and white.
And they are sold as a concentrate.
That's correct.
You don't have to get in your bare feet and
No,
jump up and down. That's only in the...
Thank God. I don't think my wife would do that.
You don't have to... So again, you pour the grape concentrate into here, and
That's
then you
correct.
fill
Now-
it about up to here.
Yeah, the reason why you bring it up to about 3 inches from the top is to allow the first 6 or 7 days there'll be some foaming. So you allow a space for the foaming. Then after 6 or 7 days, then you add the water all the way to the top. Now, after you put the concentrate in here and the hot water, the 70-degree water, you add an airlock to the top.
So the water, everything has to be at
70 degrees.
the right temperature.
That's right.
Too hot or too cold will ruin the process.
We'll slow it down or speed it up.
We'll speed it up.
That's
So
correct.
again, you have to have 70-degree water. Can you use ordinary
Water?
town water? Ordinary water?
That's what we use.
Use ordinary town water. You don't
That's
have to
correct.
get special spring
No.
water or
No.
ordinary town water works fine.
Sure.
And you fill it up to about here and you leave it start.
You start to ferment. About a day later, you'll notice that the bubbling action will take place in here. As long as that bubbling action takes place in the airlock, then you know the fermentation is taking place.
So this is an airlock. It allows gases to escape but
That's
not
correct.
get in. Do you have to add anything to start the fermentation?
Yeah,
or
that's correct. Once you bring it up to the top here, you add a yeast you sprinkle yeast inside, then you put the carboy on top. That starts the fermentation.
same yeast you can buy?
It comes with the package.
Comes with a package.
Yeah, when you buy the concentrate, it sells you the package. In the package, it'll have the yeast, and it has the other ingredients that is necessary to use, and it has the sterilizing solution.
Okay, so you started fermenting.
Right. Now you let it ferment, like I said, for about 6 or 7 days, and then you top it up, and then you put the airlock back on, and then after the fermentation, which should be about 4 weeks, the bubbling will stop. At that point in time, you take the concentrate out of the carboy and you put it into a white pail. You transfer it over.
So you wait about 4 weeks for fermentation to proceed. How do you know when it's ready, or do you just wait 4 weeks?
No, you can't wait 4 weeks, but it's better to wait till the bubbling actually stops.
So the bubbling action stops. It means the fermentation is slowing
Has
down.
stopped. That's correct.
So you take this off, and
You add a transferring mechanism here into the carboy,
you put this here.
and then you transfer it into the white pail.
And again, so you transfer the wine that's 4 weeks old with this.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
a siphon, like a siphon.
It's a siphon, that's correct. What you have to do is be sure that you leave the sediment in the bottom. So as it's siphoning, you shove this down until you get near the bottom, and you leave the sediment in the bottom of the carboy. Okay? Then when you're finished, you take the carboy and you dump the sediments out. You rinse it again. You sterilize it. Then you pass the wine back from the white container back into the carboy, and then you add 2 more packages, 3 and 4, and then you put the airlock back on.
So after 4 weeks, you get rid of the sediment, in effect, the
That's
stuff that
correct.
has fallen to the bottom, which you do not want.
That's right.
And you pour it back in here, and you...
And you add packages 3 and 4, make the fermentation complete. And then what happens is you put the airlock back on, and the fermentation will start again. That'll last for about 1 more week. And then after that week, you will see that the wine is getting very, very clear. And it's ready to be bottled.
Mm-hmm. So the second fermentation again lasts about 1 week,
That's correct.
and you do it just by time. Is there a way to tell when the wine is ready?
Well, again, you'll see that the airlock bubbling will stop. That means the fermentation is complete, and you'll see a settling in the carboy, and the wine becomes very, very, very clear. Especially a white wine, you can see it, or even a red wine, you can see it clearing up very, very well. Then you're ready to transfer it into your bottles. And again, I got to stress that you have to sterilize the bottles.
And I guess these bottles can be purchased in.
I believe they're about $10 for 12. You can buy them.
So this is a wine bottle.
That's correct.
So they're $10 for 12. So they're really less than $1 a piece.
Right on.
And you obviously can reuse them.
Can reuse them. Right on. And then we put the siphon back into the carboy, and we siphon carefully into each bottle, and then you use the corks and the corker that goes on the bottle. I can demonstrate one. I don't think I can put in because they have to be wet and steamed, but I'll give you an idea.
So that is a corking machine.
You gotta take the handle off of here.
Take the handle off.
It opens up. Here, maybe we can show. The cork goes in here, and then it closes up.
I often wondered, how do they get the cork in the wine bottle?
Well, you don't have any big Italian ladies, so you got to do it yourself. There. Well, when it's wet, it works better. You put it on, you press it down, it goes right into the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And the idea is, of course, to make an airtight seal.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously the thing to do. Then you store it in a cool place, and you can begin drinking it right away.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Does wine continue to ferment in the bottle, or does fermentation basically stop?
No, that's done now.
So contrary to what some people do think, the wine is aged really in
That's correct.
here or in barrels or whatever you're making it. Once the wine is poured into the bottles, aging basically stops, despite what I think some people think.
That's correct. You can add sugar to the bottles for a sweetener if you wish, or to the glasses individually if you want it a little bit sweeter. But
So the dryness or sweetness of the wine is something you can decide yourself.
that's correct.
You can add sugar syrup either at the end of the fermentation process or later if you want a sweeter wine.
Exactly. And what's on the market also are labels and caps. So you can, if you're making a Moselle, you can add the label and the top to it to make it look like it's a professional job. And you can see here.
Let's
What
look
are
at
the
some of
wines
these
here?
then. So this is Moselle from Private Stock.
Yeah, my private stock.
And Moselle refers to the type of grape,
That's correct, the concentrate.
the type of grape concentrate that you get. We have some other ones I understand. Let's see.
Yeah, I have some that some other people have made. I think Ken McIntosh has made that one.
This would be Cuvée Spéciale.
This one here. They all look very professional. They're hard to believe.
This looks very. I mean, if you put this on a shelf in a store, this looks very professional.
Yeah, it does.
Don't
That's-
have a
that's-
Chateau Temiskaming or
No, we don't.
Chateau Foucault, not quite yet.
Not yet. Well, one thing I did forget to mention too, at the end of the fermentation, we have to check the specific gravity, and I neglected to mention that. And you do that with a hydrometer.
So the specific gravity, check with this instrument.
Yeah, you lower it into the carboy.
You take this instrument, I won't actually do it, but you would lower it in here and you can read off the specific gravity.
Yeah, which should be about 996 when the fermentation is complete.
And this reflects what, the alcohol content basically?
That's correct. That's correct. And it tells you when you're ready to when the wine's ready to be bottled.
What alcohol content do you usually end up with in practice?
I think it's probably between 9 and 11. Which is
So 9
fair.
or 11%, 9
Yeah,
to
in there,
11%,
in
which
there,
is roughly what?
Well, about the same as a store-bought
Same.
wine.
Is there a way to vary the alcohol content, make it stronger or weaker?
I don't know how you do that. Maybe adding more water would make it
Adding more
weaker.
water, right? But basically, the alcohol content is fixed in the recipe,
That's correct.
and it's very difficult to vary.
That's right.
So looking at the other side of the coin, it is easier for people in that they will not inadvertently make the wine much too strong or much too weak. You will always end up pretty well with the same alcohol content.
That's right.
And again, this is ethanol, ethyl
Okay.
alcohol. It's called a hygrometer. Seems to me the process is fairly simple. It only
Right.
involves really 3 or 4 steps. Sterilization, first fermentation, pouring off the sediment, second fermentation, and
Right.
bottling. So the process itself is simple. You mentioned, though, temperature is very important.
That's correct. When it's fermenting, you got to keep it around 70 degrees. I've noticed that if you drop it down to 65, it'll slow right down. So you got to keep between 68 and 72 is basically where my wife and I've been
So that is what
had
they
best
call
results.
room temperature for
Room
wine.
temperature. Actually, we put it in a. We've tried covering it up and leaving it in the sun. Ken McIntosh gave me that hint, and that works very, very well too.
Mhm.
Because it's an exothermic reaction, so there is a little bit of heat that it generates on its own.
So in practice, for most people, they would leave it in their basement, basically, if they wanted 68 or 70 degrees.
Sure,
The basement would be a good place to
sure,
start.
it would be fine.
And what about storage of the wine?
There's two schools of thought. Somebody told me that you should always lay the bottles down to keep the corks wet, but I've been talking to other people, and they say that's not true. As long as you leave it stored upright, it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is store it in a
Okay.
cool place.
So again, where can people, if people are interested now, if this has whetted anyone's interest, what's a good way to start off?
Well, the starter
Make it
kits,
warm.
you can buy everything here for around, I think it cost me around $60 or $80 to get started. And then the extras are the labels, and you can go on and on and on. But the $60 starter kit, I think, gives you the carboy, the white container, the siphon, the airlock, and basically the hydrometer. And then kits cost about $30 to $40 for
Those
each
are
kit.
Starter kit.
Well, no, that'll be your
The-
concentrate.
The concentrate. So the initial starter kit will cost about $60, but
That's
that
right.
is because you need this. Do these come in the starter kit as well, or are
That's
these
correct.
purchased separately?
No, that comes with the starter kit.
And once you buy your starter kit, the kits of the grape concentrate are about 30 or 40.
$30 to $40, depending on what you want to buy.
And how many bottles would you get out of one kit of concentrate,
Uh,
roughly?
I think it's 24 or 25.
So for that $30 to $40 kit, you would get about 25 bottles. Again,
That's
as you
correct.
say, about $1
The
and a
bottle-
quarter, $1.50 a bottle.
That's correct. That's what it comes
Mhm.
to.
Now I see you have a fine selection of some wines you
Yeah,
made,
maybe,
and
maybe we should try some.
oh, that's fine.
We'll
A
try
cold
some
night like
red.
this, I wouldn't mind that.
Actually, if you can see the clarity,
Mhm.
leave that one there.
Mm.
I imagine the staff will get into this after the interview.
And it is perfectly clear. It's difficult. It smells exactly like standard wine.
Yeah.
Nice bouquet, nice aroma.
Cheers to your show.
Cheers.
Excellent.
It's excellent. That's a nice. Again, what grape is this? This is
That is Châteauneuf de Pape.
Chardonnay.
It's a red wine.
It's excellent.
Yeah, it is a good wine.
Excellent. As you say, I defy anybody to tell the difference between this and really a reasonably expensive commercial wine.
I agree with you 100%. That's basically why my wife and I got into the winemaking.
That's very good. Stuff's addicting.
There's, I don't know how many people in town, but I bet you there's 15 or 20 people making wine now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's getting really, really to be
And
popular.
it is something you can keep doing, something really everybody can get involved with.
Sure, sure. And that's basically it.
So I'd like to, again, thank you for coming down here and sharing your interesting hobby with us.
Well, I've enjoyed it. I thought it's a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And again, I'd like to thank all of you for allowing us into your homes tonight. I'm Gordon Brock, and this is Around Town.